stuff. I feel like I have the zoomies. Cool. And I want to go to bed. Nope. All at the same time. Puppies never puppies. Send help. Hi! I'm so glad you're here. A friend of mine on Instagram reached out and asked if I was taking any sewing commissions. I'm technically not. I don't have commissions on my Etsy store anymore, but they're a friend and I really wanted to do this for them, so I'm very excited to make it work. She's going to Disneyland's Pride Night event, and at these ticketed events, you can be in a full costume. It's one of the rare times you can be in a full costume at a Disney park, and she asked me if I could make an Iridessa cosplay from the Tinkerbell series. And it's so cute and I love the idea, so I said yes. In the past when I've done commission work, it's usually on something that I've done it often enough that I've worked out most of the kinks in the process, and I'm confident in my abilities to give the person a product that works and is worth the money I would have to charge for the commission. Because when I'm sewing for myself, I allow a lot of mistakes. Like on this dress, for example, this ruffle stops at the back. It doesn't meet. It's supposed to, but it wasn't long enough. I'm way more lenient with mistakes and things I make for myself. And also making things for myself, I can fit them and alter them as I'm making it, so that if it doesn't fit, I can fix it. This is my first full cosplay commission, and I'll be honest, I'm nervous, but I really want to do this for her and I want to do it right. She does not live near me, so I can't do any fitting. So that brings me to what I'm doing this week. I want to do a test run. I'm calling it a test run instead of a mock-up because I'm using the exact same fabrics that I need for hers to test out this new dress pattern and see if it works. Everything is working out in my brain as far as how I think I'm going to do it, but I know that that doesn't always translate into the real world. So I'm going to test this out first and make sure that I can give my friend the best results possible. Because I decided to film the process and make this content in and of itself, I decided to make mine a different color because number one, I wanted her cosplay to be special to her and she'll have the one and only Iridessa costume. Number two, I just need to test out this dress pattern to see if the plus sizes are truly plus size. So let's talk about the design. Iridessa has a few different versions of her dress, but my friend and I both agreed that the version that is a halter top dress would probably be more comfortable to wear to an event, which is good because I'm really not comfortable making a strapless dress yet. I've only made one and it doesn't stay up without a lot of help. So we're going with the halter top version of Iridessa's dress. It's mainly yellow, but the skirt is petals, and as pretty as it is, I kind of figured that flower petals wouldn't be very wearable day to day or for other things. Oh, I forgot a big part of this. She wants to be able to wear the piece outside of it being a cosplay. So layer one of the design is going to be a halter top dress, mainly one color with an ombre effect at the top, and it'll have a removable sunflower petal skirt made out of a, I believe a chiffon, and she'll be able to take it on or off and wear it however she wants. Her sunflower seed will be a pin so that she can also remove it from the dress. So that's the plan for my friend's cosplay. I went on Etsy and I found a halter top dress pattern and gathered fabric that is the same type as hers will be, just in a different color. I've actually worked with this type of fabric before on these projects. It's a really smooth type texture and it has a little bit of a stretch to it, so I'm hoping that this will be a comfortable option for a Disneyland event because I know there's going to be a lot of walking and riding rides maybe, I don't know. I know that in the parks it's important to feel comfortable and look cute. So after desperately rummaging through the fabric shelves like a witch who has lost her spell book, I found a fabric that I think would work really well for this, and I found it in 3 colors total: red, teal, and white, which was very surprising to me. I feel like the selection has dwindled at my location. Unfortunately, they didn't really have any of that fabric in a yellow, so for her design I will have to dye it, but that's okay because I would have to dye the top of it anyway. And for the test run, I chose red. Have I ever made a fairy cosplay before? Actually, yes. Yes, I have. But the designs and the techniques I'm gonna use are very different, and I haven't done those before, but I'm gonna do it anyway. There is a lot of work to be done and very little time to do it. So let's sprinkle some pixie dust on this project and get to work.
What the? How long has that been there?
Not sure what is going on. I don't know if it was me or if it's the pattern. Let me show you. This piece, this thing that is part of the wrap is huge. I didn't see markings to do darts, but it really needs a dart or something because it's just massive. I cut this one already and it looks better, but it didn't make sense to me. So I think my next step is I am going to make my own pattern for this, but I'm going to take the one that I bought and I'm going to trace it onto some paper and I'm going to make some alterations to make it work. It's probably user error, but yeah, so it's very late and I need to go to bed, but before I go to sleep, I am going to trace the pieces and mark where I want things to be changed, but we'll figure it out. I just wanted to pop in and give an update because this initial try on was one big oof. Hello. It's several days later. I don't know how many. I'm filming 3 or 4 different things all at the same time, so I have no idea what I have recorded and what I haven't. But I thought I'd give an update on what I'm doing with the fairy dresses. I'm actually going to skip around a little bit. I was just going to completely test run everything I plan on doing for my commission on this red ensemble, but really the only part of it I was concerned about was the actual dress itself. I'm pretty confident I can do everything else, no problem. I've just cursed myself by saying that, haven't I? I fixed the pattern. I sewed it all together for the red dress. It fits really well, actually. Then I went to go get the fabric for my friend's commission, and because it's a polynylon blend, I made sure to grab the synthetic dye. I dyed all of the pieces, following the directions on the bottle. I pulled the pieces out, and you can't really tell on camera. In fact, the lighting is making it look darker than it is. It's a super, super pale yellow. Not at all the strong, vibrant sunflower or daffodil yellow that I want it to be. So I was freaking out just a little bit. My brain doesn't want to accept this color as being okay because it's not at all what I intended or what I designed. And as it is right now, it doesn't match what I sent to my friend to okay for the design. I don't want something like the fabric not taking on the dye to derail this entire project. So after I allowed myself to freak out a little bit, I decided to assemble it as is. And if I still don't like how it looks, and because purchasing more of this fabric specifically isn't really an option and they don't have a better option at the store, I remembered near the fabric store there's a thrift store, and after I got the materials, I went to the thrift store as well, thrifted a giant piece of daffodil yellow fabric. This fabric does have a large zipper running on one of the sides, but there is enough of it that I can cut out all of the pieces of the dress if need be. So long story short, I know I have a backup option in case I need to make a different dress. So shifting gears from the red into my commissioned dress, what needs to be done is it needs to be sewn together. The top of it needs to be dyed orange to get the gradient on the top. The petal skirt needs to be assembled. The wings need to be finished, and the sunflower seed needs to be painted. And maybe if I stop talking, I'll be able to get most of that done tonight, so I'm gonna get to work. Was able to finish sewing the dress. I made the wings. They worked better than I thought. I didn't think they wouldn't work, but I also was too confident, and because I was too confident, I lost some confidence because I was too confident, and usually when I'm too confident, it doesn't work. But this time it worked. And so far, I don't hate the color. I have been watching all of the Tinkerbell movies while I've been working. For the first time, I've never seen them before, really. After watching Athena P's lore video on the Tinkerbell series, the books, the movies, etc., it made me want to watch them, and what better reason than building Iridessa's dress to watch the source material. Looking at it on its own, the color doesn't bother me, how faint it is. After seeing Iridessa in the movies, I feel like I should make the other color, especially because she creates rainbows. So I'll tell you all about my plan tomorrow. I need to call it a night because it's quite late, so I'll see you tomorrow. You're just climbing up! Oh my gosh! Why are you like this? Hello! It's the next day. After putting the dress together and watching nearly all of the Tinkerbell movies, The color's too light. It's too light for me. In my head, in my design, this was supposed to be a vibrant yellow, and it's not. For whatever reason, the fabric just did not like the dye did not like the fabric, so I'm gonna make the other version, and because I'm sending this in a box in which the weight doesn't matter, I'll just send her both. The only thing I'm worried about with you're gonna fall. You're gonna fall if you're not careful. The only thing I'm worried about with both versions of the dress is the orange dye not working. The backup dress? It just flashed back to a show I did a long time ago. Luckily, the backup dress is also a synthetic material. I got orange dye for synthetics, and it can be used on both of them. So today, I'm going to construct the backup dress, dye them both at the same time, and once they're both in the wash after that process, I'll make the petal skirt. Once that's done, I'll finish up the sunflower seed, and then it'll be all done. I'm pretty excited. Oh, you're gonna fall. My pants are so slippery, and you are so soft. You're so sweet and cute. I don't want you to fall. Let's do it. Becoming increasingly concerned with what's happening in the movie and then remembering I already know the ending. And despite knowing the ending, I still got surprisingly very emotional at the Neverbeast movie. It's coming along. I have 2 more petals left to sew together, and I probably could finish them both tonight, but it's quite late. Before I sew it all together though, I am going to paint some details onto the petals, and I can definitely do that all tomorrow. So I'm gonna call it a night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hello, it's the next day. Not much left to do today, just finishing up the flower petal skirt and the sunflower seed, and then it's basically done. After this one is done, I will finish the red one. Probably not for a little while though, because I am filming other things. No time will pass for you, but probably at least a week or 2 will pass for me before I finish the red one. But enough talking, let's finish up this iridescent dress. Let's finish up this iridescent dress. We got there. Everything I have to send to my friend is complete. It's all ready. I cannot wait to send it out to her. I had some scrap pieces of fabric left from I've been calling it in my head the shiny dress. So I used some of that and I made a pouch. And on the inside, I had some rainbow scraps from the rainbow dress I made last year. So I lined the inside of the pouch for that because Iridescent creates rainbows and it's for Pride Night. So I thought having a rainbow lined interior for the pouch would be really cute. So yeah, everything for the real commissioned version of this project is complete and will be sent out soon. Now we're gonna shift back to the red version, the test run, and see how we can finish that up. Hello, I don't even know how long it's been since I last checked in on this project, and my camera is about to... So we're gonna get straight to it. The red fairy outfit has just been sitting unfinished for probably a couple weeks, and I'd like to finally finish it. The red dress itself is done, so the only things left are to make some accessories. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to make the petal skirt, I'm gonna make the wings. I would like to make another fairy petal hat like I made for my rainbow challenge with the same material, so it'll have a nice little shine to it. And I'd like to also try a different way of making the wings. I think the wings that I made before were a good, simple, little tiny wing that my friend actually didn't need in the end because she had the most gorgeous pair of fairy wings that she wore to Pride Night, which, by the way, she looked amazing. I loved seeing how happy the costume made her. Yeah, it was very nice. I'm not looking to spend any more money on this any more than I already did 2 months ago, however long it was. And I only say that because I know there are ways to make really nice fairy wings. I just don't think I have any of those materials on hand, so I'm gonna have to work with what I've already got. We're gonna see what we can come up with. That's the plan. I'm going to give my camera a little bit of time to charge, and then we'll really get to work. Quick Quick update. The petal skirt is going to be a little different than I expected it to be because I'm short just one petal. The way I did it before is I had 2 layers that I sewed together, turned inside out, and sewed a tube at the top of each of them so that they were all strung onto a belt. And that worked for my friend's skirt because the petals were more narrow. For this one, since it's red, I wanted it to be more like a rose, and I made the petals too big, thinking that I would have just enough, and it turns out that I am 1 short. So instead of making it the same way I did before, I think I'm gonna double my work and make them all just 1 layer. This does, however, mean that I have to finish the edges of every single petal, which means 6 petals instead of 3, which if I didn't have a serger would mean I would have to hem the edges, the very, very round edges of every petal, and I don't want to do that. But I luckily have a shiny red thread that I've used in my serger before, so I'm just gonna overlock the sides of all of the petals. The wings took so much longer than I expected. I had some trouble getting it all to line up because the material is so slippery, so it was a little bit challenging, and they look a bit crumpled as if this fairy has been trampled or squished a few times. I was sewing with some clear polyester thread, and I stopped using that because it kept breaking on the bottom, and because it's clear and the material is also clear, it was impossible to tell when it had broken. So I would go all the way around and figure out the hard way that it stopped. I also did like a squiggly pattern on the wings just as a little detail, but I am going to call it a night because it's already pretty late. Tomorrow we'll finish up the petal skirt, the petal hat, and figure out how we're going to attach the wings. So I'll see you then. Oh, I'm too short. Another one bites the dust. Hello, it's the next day. There's a lot to do today, and what's left is the petal hat and the petal skirt. I think I'm going to do the petal hat first. Today and tomorrow are the last days I have to work on this project, so I'm not going to talk any longer and just get to work. I did finish assembling the petal skirt, which looks way better than I expected it to. Everything is put together, which means it's time for the reveal. Can't believe it, but it's done. This was kind of an abnormally long process for me because I was making 2 versions of this. It's very cute. Or should that be? Very cute. I said this before, but I am very glad that I did this as a test run because the pattern didn't work right away. I threw a couple of sloppy darts on mine. I didn't do that on my friend's because it doesn't look good, but I just did it because I was annoyed. I think the idea is that it's supposed to be wide enough that it kind of ruches when you tie it, but it still doesn't work super well that way. And I took an inch, maybe an inch and a half from this piece. So I am very happy that I decided to test this pattern first before sending it off to my friend. The dress itself, the stitching on the inside too, is a bit messy because again, this was a test run. I just needed to make sure that it would work for my friend. The wings are very crumply. I think they read wing, and that's all I could hope for. On this dress, they're attached with snaps because I'm not super duper worried about that being visible if I wear this dress on its own, which it could be worn separately from everything else, which was also part of the prompt for my friend's commission. So on mine, the snaps are quite visible on the back, but that's the only way I could think to attach my larger crumply wings. And I'm glad that I did not make bigger wings for my friend because these do not look good. Even though she had the most gorgeous pair of wings separate from the ones I sent her, which were like really weird little fly wings now that I look back at it. But they were there, and on hers they attached with a hook and eye because they were easier to hide. My petal skirt also closes with a snap instead of an elastic waistband. For my friends, I did an elastic waistband because I am always pretty nervous doing non-stretchy waistbands for people I cannot do a fitting for. Even doing it for myself, the fit isn't perfect. I also made hers elastic because she was wearing it into the parks, and elastic waistbands are just more comfortable than a taut piece of fabric that squeezes around your middle. I also didn't do an elastic waistband for mine because I just didn't have enough material left over to make a casing for the elastic that matched fabric of the dress. Barely had enough fabric for the hat, which just looks like I'm wearing a chili pepper on my head, so that's not great. It is what it is. I think it works. It looks fine. It looks cute. It is very slippery. It is held on by 4 bobby pins. So besides my chili pepper hat, I think everything worked out really well. And if you do too, you can let me know by hitting the like button. And if you want to see what I'm doing next and join the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to know when I post, hit the notification bell and YouTube will let you know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!